Who am I? I am a passionate leader. And born and raised in Buffalo, New York. I am the youngest of 4 girls and daughter of 2 young ladies, De'Ara and Yvonne. And I am, a Jesus lover. I love the Lord.
Yes.
And I love people. I'm called to his people, certainly, particularly to women, to empower and to lift them up. And I'm just grateful for what he's doing in my life. And I try to embed my own experiences just to help people know that you can overcome, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just who I am at the core, just helping people, pulling them out, pulling them up from being stuck, and helping people just to know that they too, can overcome. So that started my journey of really being changed, being transformed by the renewing of my mind, because of the car accident, I had 6 months to sit at home. It was just me and the Lord.
Yeah.
And so in that time, I developed my prayer life. And I studied that word, and I talked to the Lord like all day, every day. And it was within that time frame that my life shifted, and I've never been the same.
Wow.
I've never looked back. Don't forget to remember.
Yeah.
Right? So have these moments and spaces of time where you are reflecting, right? Where you are really literally going through your Rolodex of what God has done for you, right? And where he has brought you from. For me, for a lot of years, crying represented weakness. But then I learned that, of course, when we're weak, he's strong, right? And so as I connect my tears to healing, it's just like I'm pouring out. Like there's something coming out of me. The pain is coming out. And there's a scripture that says he collects our tears, right? And so think about that. All of the tears, right? You can't fill anything up. You can just pour it out.
Wow.
Because as you are pouring it out, he's healing you, right? God don't waste anything.
Absolutely
so
not.
He's not going to waste not one tear. That tear is watering the garden for your healing. Just trust that God's way is the truth, right? Because, and that goes back to like thinking about what he's already done. Like, has he failed you yet? Right? Have you failed yet going his direction? No, right? And so he does provide, he gives answer through people, right? Godly counsel he gives, which is why we got to be in the word too.
Yeah. Who is Michael Williamson?
Who am I? Well, I'm born and raised in Niagara Falls, New York, and I'm always proud to say that. My parents raised us in the town of Niagara. Went to Niagara Wheatfield High School, attended Syracuse University, where I was a biology major, whereas when I first really got interested in the sciences, I'm a sports fanatic. Right. And I'm an advocate just for Western New York, Niagara Falls especially. I believe that there's a lot of good that comes out of Niagara Falls and just many times doesn't get publicized. Coming up high school and college, you don't hear many young people aspire to work with the dead. Yeah. They want to be firemen, policemen, lawyers, doctors. But not too much about the funeral business, but I come from a family legacy of funeral business. My grandfather, my father, and now myself. So we've been in business in Niagara Falls for over 60 years. It's kind of a very unique story because my father in the late 30s, he was just a young man, 14 or 15, he lost an uncle that died. And at that time, there was only one funeral home in the area that would service black families. And when they went to the funeral home and knocked on the door, and the lady came to the door and, "What do you want?"
Right.
And he heard his uncle say, "Well, my brother died. Do you have any money?" And, my father's uncle said, "No, we don't have money right now, but we'd like to, find out. Come back when you have money." And that struck my father as a young man. And being turned away, my dad thought to himself, if I could ever start my own funeral business, I'd like to serve, the Black community and serve them at a high level, so they wouldn't have to experience what he had just experienced.
Right. Wow.
So, nowadays we have to be both. We still have to be traditional and use the familiarity, what we have with people, but we also have to be cost competitive now with people, because people are, and as they should be, people are very cost conscious, even in the funeral business. We know one another.
Right.
But in the end, I think that makes the whole funeral experience a little bit easier. I like to think that Williamson Funeral Home is very unique in what we can offer the families that we service, because we've been such a big part of the community for so long. Tends to add a lot less anxiety to the whole process. But yeah, you're right. People are laid out in automobiles.
Yeah.
Drive-through funerals are very common now, where it's like a bank. When you go to the bank teller drive-through, they have the casket propped up in the gap, and people don't have time nowadays.
Right.
So they can just drive through, sign the register book,
wow,
and keep it moving.
That's interesting. I never heard of it. Wow.
Yeah.